I think we're live. Might be a touch early. It says 7 o'clock. All right, who do we got? Gary. Retro Puffer. Ben. Yeti Matzi. Music Sound Gear. Got Ben. You got Trolls, you got Deanna, Martian Murray, Chris Adams, Trolls, Vimps, Larry, and Chris. BC Rich, Fretless Said, Jimmy P, got Chris. I think I said Gary, but I'll say Gary again. What's up, speaker? Got Searching for Tone. Got Eric. Got everybody. Richard. Funny ass guitar guy. Got Brian. Super Lead, Scott, Fiesta Pup, Wendell. They want me to insert an ad. So a disturbing development in the world of ads. A couple of weeks ago, someone was like, you know, I love this channel, but just way too many ads. And I'm like, what do you, I literally don't run like mid-rolls. And I checked. And now, even if I don't have mid-rolls selected, I turn them off for the show. When the show is over, after the processing, they quietly just turn mid-rolls on, even though I say, no, I want to insert them manually. Now, I check my videos, and when I turn off mid-rolls on the videos, it stays off. But on the live shows, if I turn mid-rolls off, when I'm done, it just quietly turns it on. I had to go through and turn it off for about 25 live shows, and then they were all empty after that. So it was only the last like 25 shows it went through and did that. And I was like, because we have over 200, and yeah, that's annoying because I have to remember now. And I went to do it last time, like right after the show ended, and no luck. I couldn't do it. It was sort of ghosted out, and they're like, you can't make changes to the monetization of this video until the processing is completed. I was like, oh, okay. And it wasn't checked. I was like, that's weird. And I waited a few hours, and I went back, and I went in there, and it was checked off. Mid-rolls. And I was like, you sons of bitches. Boy, you just can't take no. They just can't take friggin' no. I just don't want those. They're like, people see a 20% uplift. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I don't want that. They're annoying. People don't like them. I don't like them, and I tend to turn off the ads I don't like. And mid-rolls is one of them. And my God, they would run on a 2-hour show. They'd run friggin' 40 goddamn mid-rolls. Like, They have no shame. Yeah, the fart pedal. I have a little bit of footage for the fart pedal from a morning walk around, but those were, I sort of focused all on the booth visits I did. So I'm sure you saw I did the Ilio with the new THU2, and we did the Ibanez one, which got a lot of people really liked that video. I got a lot of views. And then I think I did the Vola one and then the Sully one. But the Vola and the Sully I'm not in. And they don't do as well. So maybe the lesson learned is you got to be in the video if you want to see the numbers. So the request for Ibanez to reissue the RG560. They've done the 570. I looked it up. They did a 570, I want to say, in 2018. They did the RG570. So they've done the 550. They've done the 565. And he said that they have some surprises coming, like for the, because they're trying to, reestablish that classic RG line. I wonder if I actually, like spilled the bean, I hope they're coming out with an RG560. I think, wouldn't it be funny if I guessed it and Ibanez is all mad as if I somehow knew about it, but I really just want an RG560. That's sort of the one I went with. I had 550s too, but I was more into the 560, which is, as I learned from Paul Reed Smith, the Californian style. That's what he calls the single double. It's Californian. Oh, interesting. Exactly. Sully, God, he could be from Boston. Fitzy. Oh no, he's already gone. The funny thing is he had to be a subscriber for 20 minutes. That's a commitment. Do you think the tariffs will raise the cost of stuff? Well, they're saying the stuff out of Mexico will be 25%, but usually how companies do that is they just see that as a sunk cost and they just they can't raise the price on a single guitar by 25%. Right? And so they spread the cost out over all the lines because it's easier to right? That's a sunk cost. That's an import cost. So, they have to pay that right up front. And it's, like I said, it's sunk. It's like you don't pay that like at time of sale, right? You pay it right up front. And so now you got to float that money. So 25% kind of, it wouldn't be that. It would be really more like 30% because they have to float it for a little bit. Right? And so they would be losing money if they just got 25% back. And so what they usually would do is they'll figure out how much to raise the American line, all the lines, to sort of spread that cost out over everything. So I don't think you're going to see Mexican Strats and Tellies go up 25%. But you might see everything go up 10% across the board, right, to cover that cost. Go Birds. You know what? I think on paper, I think Philly looks like the better team, right? Especially with the blowout last week. So it feels like Philly, like, but it's the Mahomes factor. God, you just can't count that guy out. He's the wild card. If he has a good game, it's hard to predict what will happen, right? He's just one of those dudes. So they were looking at dudes who like led a team from a deficit, like late into a game for like what you would call like a miraculous comeback. And Brady was like 5 of 11, so not even 50%, although he feels like he's done that kind of stuff. And they had a few other ones that were around 50%. Mahomes is 7 for 7. He's batting 1,000. So I'm just saying. It's hard to count that dude out. But to me, on paper, in theory, just like the matchup between the two teams, you know, my head says to go Philly. That they're just a better team, especially defensively. You know. So we'll see. It's always good this week. It'll be Radio Row, right? Got THU based on the NAMM video. Yeah, you know what? And then they're going to have... Now, did you get 2? 2 isn't out yet. I haven't seen anything about getting 2 yet. I did get the Max Ostro pack, though. So... Patrick's going to win the Super Bowl. Hey, look, there's always 5 years ago. 8 years ago. It's been a little bit. Look, we won 6. You can't, you know. It was a good run. You know. Dinner in the crock pot. That sounds good. Looking forward to the grill and the smoker weather. Yeah. Well, the refs, you know, here's the thing. The refs are always an issue in every game. I really wish they would just put some sort of RF in the friggin' ball. We don't have lasers. We only have laser beams we can put out there and know within, like, you know, 1/1000th of an inch. No, we don't have that tech yet. Feels like we could. No. Was Fender Gibson open to the public? No. But here's the thing. I don't know about Gibson, but I had a press pass. In addition to my exhibitor pass, which is what I was using to get myself in early. And to be able to just walk in with a backpack and walk right out with it without being hassled, right? Because when you have an exhibitor badge, you have way, way more, you know, leeway than if you don't. I also had a media pass. And I think I just could have gone to Fender and said, hey, I'm with the media. When are you bringing media in? And probably could have booked an appointment. If not even just being, like, allowed, like, right in. They might have said, oh, come back after 2 o'clock. And, you know, we'll let you in with a media badge. Because I know people that had media badges that just got in. So I probably just could have done that. But, you know, it's a lot of walking. 12.8 kilometers the first day. It was like 8 miles. Russia's releasing a box set. That's cool. It's all ball bearings these days. Not been said. Sad news last week. Lost one of Steve's loyal viewers. Sassy Cat. Oh, no way. Oh, that's a total bummer. That's a total bummer. I lost a Sassy Cat. My God. Sassy's been following me for friggin' years. And, I think I'd have to go back and check, but I think Sassy Cat was a pick winner when I was giving away the Hoofschmidt, and I sent him a note. I think it was Sassy Cat. So that's terrible news. I think Sassy would have wanted a. Just remember Sassy Cat, for whom the bell tolls. We lost a good one. Loyal watcher, and fan of the show, and will be missed. This feels out. There you go. You think Marshall should have come out with a modeling amp? You know, I think Marshall's trying to get back to their roots. I think if they did that because they were just sold to, I think, a Chinese venture capitalist company, it would feel like, you know, oh, there you go, you sold it to a company like that, and there comes all the computerized amps, right? People be losing their minds, so they went the complete opposite direction with like hand-wired 59 and stuff like that, to basically say, look, we're not going to forget who we are, you know, as a company. So I think, I forget, the Marshall family owns a pretty good percentage. Then I think the Swedish company still owns a chunk, but I want to see the largest shareholders now, that Chinese VC company. Yeah, way too young is true. That's very young, actually. Remarkably close to my age. You know, but you know, once you, who was it? Louis C.K. was basically like, yeah, you know, if you die before 50, people are like, oh, that's terrible. When you die out, he goes, I just turned 50. Now I can die. People are like, well, he was, yeah, like, it's 50. You know, we'll wait until you're that age. Then you'll be like, no, that's young. So 62 is very young. Very, very young. Marshall Code model was such a flop. I think it was. You know, I mean, just compare the Marshall Code to, say, like the Boss Katana, which I think was like in terms of like solid state modeling amps, was a kind of a hit. You know, 60s is young. My dad just turned 91. It shows no sign of slowing down. Does Marshall still make the Origin series? I'm not sure. You know, they've had, I feel like a bit of a lineup shuffle in the last few years. They might. But, you know, Marshall's famous for, you know, just killing lines very quickly. Try it for a little bit, and if it doesn't work, switch out. I think the one that's always out there is that the like the DCM or something like that. They have one line that consistently has one or two models in it. Right, that sort of like mid-tier all tube, but it might have like a digital reverb in it. Oh man. Yeah, DSL, thank you. The dual super lead. Yeah, exactly. My dad's secret is eating at Popeyes. Probably the healthiest food he eats. Yeah, it got dry here, man. It was kind of wet and muggy. The dew point was up to like 40. Now it's like 4. Much drier. I don't see Buddy. Buddy was back there. We had a little buddy bed going for him, but he took off. He's upstairs. You like the neck on the EVH specials? I do. I think it's nice. I like this guitar a lot. But it's going to go back next week. What the hell was that? I packed up the Yamaha today. I do like the necks on these. You know, it's very similar to the Charvel, quite frankly. You know, maybe even a touch smaller. Not the same. Maybe a touch smaller. Yeah, frictionless volume and a high friction tone. So the tone is like, you know, turning through molasses, but the volume knob is friggin' awesome. Double creams? No, they're double parchment. How dare you? Double creams? No. A double cream is a registered trademark of the DiMarzio Corporation. No, these aren't double creams. They're double parchment. Double parchment is the correct answer. Yeah. I mean, I could see how to the untrained eye, it may look exactly like double creams. But no. Double parchment. Just don't send a cease and desist. It does feel, I'm just saying, when I first saw it, I was like, huh. They went there. Huh, okay. What are they going to claim? They're going to claim parchment. Okay, all right. I don't know. Maybe they just feel like DiMarzio's not up for a fight. use the exact same color but call it a different name. Maybe. I just think back to that Tiffany suit where there was a company that was selling like jewelry out of Costco, and their box looked strikingly like the same color as a Tiffany box. And Tiffany sued them, saying, like, you're giving people the idea that they might be buying a Tiffany product. And they're like, colors are here, there, and the rainbow, whatever. And they lost. Tiffany did have a trademark. It was deemed to be unreasonably close, that a reasonable person could, reasonable likelihood of confusion. And so there are color marks. You can't make pink insulation. That's freaking, that's owned by, Dow Corning. Unless the pink offered some sort of an advantage, technically, then you couldn't get a mark for it. Right? You have to get a patent. The patent would run out. But because it's a trademark, it never runs out so long as you keep renewing it. That's why DiMarzio still has the trademark for double creams, but not double parchments. Yeah. Huh. Sure. I'm just saying. The I think a reasonable person could look at that and compare it to a double cream. So they kind of look the same, right? Exactly. So that's the thing, Gary, is because DiMarzio has owned it for so long, and because they've had it to the exclusion of everybody else. When you see this, they have developed a correlation between double creams and their brand. See how that works? They called it a trademark really before it was one. It became a trademark by having exclusivity for so long. Now it really is a trademark. Now when you really do see double creams, you think of DiMarzio. Sort of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thanks, man, Tom. These are finger picked pinch harmonics. Same reason Dunn will be making amps so the trademark can be maintained. You can only have a trademark if you're still in commerce. You have to remain in commerce. How thin is the outside carb? I don't know. You gotta kind of see it in the light. I need 4 lights. I'll probably let you see it pretty good. Pretty good. Three on the side seems wrong. You know what? I kind of like the 3 on the side. I don't mind it. You realize that this guitar is just the fact that Eddie, really played a Les Paul when he was, because he's from the 70s, and the Les Paul was the in guitar. The top is carved like an LP. They put the switch up near the LP, right? It's like a couple of humbuckers. I mean, this is, right, 3 on a side tuners. It's sort of his variation of like a modded, you know, Les Paul. Really. Looks good, though, in the cam. It's a sweet color, man. That is a freaking awesome color. Look at that thing. That's suitable for framing. I'm just saying. That's heirloom quality. Then there was always that one you did like here at the 12th fret. Right. Diddly 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 dee. Oh, thanks, guys, in depth. It's finished Bruce Ignatius amp class. Oh, that sounds cool. Learned a lot, and the amp sounds great. Highly recommend that. Bruce is a mensch, real deal. Yeah, that actually sounds way cool. You know, there was a guy. He moved up to I think New Hampshire, Vermont, or New Hampshire. Moved up to New Hampshire. He was an acoustic builder, and he used to do the same thing. He used to do and it would take, you know, if you signed up for that class, if you were doing something ambitious like, you know, an arch top or like a really like nice acoustic, you know, it'd help you along the way. But you know, that class would cost you, you know, like over $1,000, and it would take about a year. You'd be signing up for it. Was like a lot of friggin', you know, lessons through the thing. But at the end of the year, you'd have a pretty nice acoustic. You know, it'd be pretty cool. But he wound up moving out. And this was back. It was $1,000 back in like This is like 1988. You know, 1990. It's like, you know, a long friggin' time ago. So yeah, no, those always sound cool. You go take a class, learn a little bit about electronics, how to solder properly. When I think THU will be released, well, they didn't give me a date. They just said in a couple of weeks. They said, you know, they're like, yeah, it'll be out in like a couple of weeks. I was like, okay. So any day now. It'll probably, I don't know. So things used to be released on a Friday. Everything was released on a Friday. Then, at some point, they switched that to Tuesday. And things were released on a Tuesday, like pretty much, like all the new albums came out on Tuesday. Everything came out on Tuesday. We're back to Friday again. I feel like it's come full circle. Tuesday's out. No Tuesday. We're back to Friday again. So I'm going to guess like it'll come out on a Friday. That's just my guess. Could be a Tuesday. It's going to be a Tuesday or Friday. That's my guess. Launches a guitar from scratch. Yeah. You know who had a nice little a kit recently was Korg. They had a little synth kit you could throw together. It was just plugs, right? Nothing, no soldering. Just plug it. And then an oscilloscope kit that was actually pretty cool. The problem is, for as cool as that it was, you could go onto Amazon and buy a pretty smoking multicolored oscilloscope for around the same money that would blow it away. So it's like, it's cool you're putting together this oscilloscope for, you know, for reading your synthesizers and everything, but and it could do multi-frequencies and put on, but you can get the same thing and then some, just going to Amazon and buying some Chinese one that's going to be like friggin' going to punch way past what that can do. So StuMac has a tube amp kit. StuMac also has a bunch of guitar kits, don't they? There's a few companies out there. I thought Harley Benton was doing a kit. Hey, did you see Harley Benton's hollow flash? I thought that looked pretty hot. To reach out and see if I can get one of them. The hollow flash. That's so cool. I saw a dude showing how to make your own hollow flash. It doesn't look actually all that hard. It's just takes time. Right? You've got to buy the sheets of different sort of hues. They have like blue ones and gold ones and silver ones. And you put them on, you sort of rub it on and take the flake off. And then once you get it all down, you just you clear it, and then you put an edge on it to soften the edges, and there you go, your hollow flash. I thought it looked pretty cool though. I think they're probably going to be under $500, maybe even under $400. It's pretty cheap. Can I play Mean Street? Not really the opening, you know. Something like that. But I'm never going to learn that opening. Remember, I'm not right-handed. That takes a very dexterous right hand to do the... Right? And I'm a lefty. It's never going to happen. That's why a lot of the picking stuff that people do, you're never going to see me do, because I'm not right-handed. I'm left-handed. I just play righty. Did you do a Harley Benton kit build? Yeah, I thought they were doing kits. And it's got just a generic paddle head, and you can just cut it out the way you like. You know. Yeah, shape your own headstock, yeah. I know what you're saying, Gary. I've always wondered the same thing. I would think that you would want the fine motor skills in the left hand, not the right. But that doesn't seem to be. I don't know why. I'm with you though, but certainly I'm way more legato than staccato, because my right hand isn't like the real righties, you know. Oh, thanks, Ben Tom. You unlock the super chat because I'm also left-handed, and so is Ben Coons. Really? So we're all. So now you don't play lefty though, right? You play righty, right? So we overcame the disadvantage that is a lefty, because you know, a lot fewer guitars. When you find one, it's more money, right? You're just so overlooked on the market compared to a standard righty guitar. So, okay, so Ambrose says lefty too. PC Rich says lefty, yeah. And you're playing righty though, right? That's the key. You're lefty, but you're not playing lefty, right? Playing righty. That's the key. That's what we're talking about here. You don't own lefty guitars. You own righty guitars, but you're a lefty. You do everything else lefty. You're eating lefty. You're playing hockey lefty. You're throwing that baseball lefty. Everything's lefty. I'm throwing that football with my left arm, right? You're lefty, except guitar. And maybe drums. I play drums righty too. I don't play drums lefty. Right? Yeah, play right so much easier. Play righty. Yeah, okay, play righty. Yeah. So we're the ones that escaped. We're the lucky ones, right? And then you have the lefties that just play lefty. Look, it happens. I want to know the poor son of a bitch who's a righty but plays lefty on guitar because that's the way that feels right. There's got to be some, right? I'm sure it's a tiny percentage, but I can't, right? So you had it locked up. You're playing righty. You're a right-handed person. Everything's righty. The world is your oyster. And then you go to play guitar and you're like, you know what? Actually, this way feels better. Right? This feels more natural to me. Oh, man. That's so brutal. So close. So close. Because lefties, listen, I have several friends that are lefties, and they'd be the first to tell you, it sucks. You get a lot fewer guitars, and when you find one, it's more money. Period. End of story. Right? You find out, you're like, oh, you know that rare, like, Fender Strat? Yeah, they only made, 5,000 righties, and they made 5 lefties. Or none, right? They just skipped that model for lefty. So it really is tough. It really is tough to be, I think, a lefty in the industry. But, like people say, there's no left-handed saxophones. There's no left-handed pianos. There's no left-handed violins. The left-handed doorknob. He was on a left-handed skateboard. Husband's right-handed but shoots a gun and pool lefty. Interesting. I shoot pool lefty too. In other words, the hold hand is my right hand. The stick hand, the actual shooting hand is my left. I couldn't even imagine going the other way. No. It's like this. Yeah, interesting. Certainly with a baseball, I wouldn't throw a baseball. And golfing, hockey, anything with a club, lefty, bro. Lefty. Yeah, I told the teacher trying to kill him, trying to play right-handed. Yeah, well, some people have strange beliefs about that crap, but the reality is you just go with the one that feels natural. You figure it out pretty quickly. My mom's lefty. I could see. It's just a genetic trait that you pick up from a parent. What's up, Ed? Imagine trying to sell a left-handed 59 burst. Yeah, my God. You'd have like, talk about the rarest of the rare. But they didn't do lefties back then, did they? I mean, were there a ton of lefty guitars back then? I feel like it didn't really come out until like the late, like early 60s, late 60s. Lefties became more of a thing. I don't know. It feels like that would be super rare, though. Like a vintage guitar lefty. I can't say I've really seen many. My grandparents? Geez, I don't know. I'm assuming all right. The only one who was a lefty was my mom. Just she and I. I don't think I think everyone, my dad, my sister, everyone else, all righty. Except if you're Michelangelo Bedio, you can play guitar with. The only thing I'm ambidextrous at, and I'm pretty damn good, is painting. If I'm painting the wall right inside, and I need to cut a line, I can cut a sharp line with either hand, like really good. My painting skills are pretty damn good in both. I'm ambidextrous painter. That I got down. I get down. In fact, I was just working on my son's room, doing first new paint in like 10 years. So, and it takes a little bit. Like anything, it takes a little, like a day or two of warm up. But man, you get into it, and it's like, pfft, I nailed it, nailed it. Yeah, the keys to the Shredderini. Oh wow, we got some new members. What do we got here? That's too high. We need a lower bell. It was too high. There we go. Charles Weller. Judge Shred. Pierre Lorthios. Decker does the DIY. And Destroyer. Shame. Shame. Keep expecting to hear AC/DC after that, yeah. Oh, that's a good looking guitar, huh? Gotta do the vibrato. How much of the specials are on USD? I gotta think they're about $1,000. No? Am I off on that? Let me see. That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna guess around $1,000. I'm gonna say EVH. I'm not even gonna spell Wolfgang. I ain't get time for that. I'm just doing EVH special. $889. It depends on the top. So $889 for a solid color like this. Oh, that's a scratch and dent though. So let's see, like what. So the Pharaoh's Gold is $9.99. The Ivory's $10.99. The Pelham Green is $12.49. Unless you get a Blem, and it's $10.74. Oh, hold on, you're not even seeing this. You're not even seeing it. Hold on. Well, anyway, you get the idea. They're about $1,000. It just depends on the color. So, like the quilted top. All right, the quilted top is $8.89, $12.99. It just depends. I was thinking about getting one of these SAs here. Try one of those. Yeah, give it a whirl. We'll see. Yeah, there's the one with the maple. So this is the, okay, so you got the ebony, you got the roasted, and then you got the regular maple. There you go. Yeah, this has got the blem, and I tell you, I know, was it this one? No, it was the Yamaha that had the tooling mark. I couldn't find really a blem on this. I don't know what it was. Oh, you know what it was? Yeah, there's a neck pocket crack, right? Yeah, there's a tiny little eyelash size neck pocket crack. That'd do it. Is there a black spot on the neck? Not really. I don't know, it looks pretty clean. Those are all stickers. A chip on the neck by the D string? No. Not that I can see. Yeah, that's pretty clean. On the headstock? No, there's a... I think it was a little piece of dust. Right? It's gone. I just brushed it off. It's like a piece of lint. I don't know. I think it's a neck pocket crack. Ebony board on these. Just ordered a PRS DGT SE. Nice. I've tried a few SEs here this past year, and I thought they were all really good, especially that Silver Sky. Really kind of dug that one. Love having old Chevelle in that color, yeah. Yeah, look at that thing. Discoloration on the fretboard, yeah, but you can't use... There's no way they would ever call that beef stock. That's just... The first EVH I had here had a very streaky fretboard. They don't... That's no longer a disqualifying problem. Any sort of a swirl or a streak in ebony is no longer considered beef stock. They wouldn't call that beef stock. That's just the natural, variation of wood. The last one I had here was really streaky. It just depends. That's just random. That's the randomness of wood. Just like when you get, it's happened, you get a Squire and it's got like the most like flamed out neck you ever saw. You're like, well, that's winning the friggin' Squire lottery right there. Yeah, no, that's standard now. A variation in wood color on pretty much any wood. The one that I don't like, and you see more of it on certain necks, like the half sawn instead of the quarter sawn, is I don't like the mineral streaks. They don't really mean anything. I just don't like the look of them. This is pretty devoid of mineral streaks. But even if it was filled with mineral streaks, they wouldn't consider that beef stock. They just wouldn't. Your Jackson American Virtuoso has a lot of that. Yeah, you tend to see it a lot now because they just want to use up the ebony that they have, even if it's, you know, all over the place, color wise. Used to be that they would, you know, move along and only stick with the solid dark, but those days are long over. Some people will you know, you could dye it, but, you know, that comes with its own set of problems. I think it's worth waiting for TH2 instead of getting THU now. Well, if you got THU now, you would get TH2 for free because you're too close to the release. What I would try to do is I would try to pay around 150 to 170 US dollars for THU. If it's $299 or $319, I'd hold up because that's sort of like their normal sort of like list price, and it goes on sale. They, you know, a lot, and when it's on sale, it's like literally $149 on like Black Friday. That might be their best price of the year. And then sometimes they'll do it $159, $169. But it's still a hell of a lot cheaper than $299. I don't care if you're getting the new one for free. You're still going to get the new one for free, even if you know, pay the reduced price. So you got to get it on sale. THU is just one of those products that if you can wait and you can, you know, just have patience until it's on sale, you can literally save 40 to 50%. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Taylor. I think Taylor got like a rude awakening about how much waste there was because the ebony was too heavy to carry back. So they'd cut a tree down, they'd look at the cross cut, and they'd be like, oh, no, not right, and just leave it. Like, they were taking back 1 out of 20 felled trees. That's a lot of waste. That's a lot of friggin' waste. And those trees, they're so hard and dense, they grow so slowly. It was like a friggin' environmental nightmare. And so he was like, no, we'll take all the ebony. You don't have to leave it on the forest floor. We'll pay you for it as well. .27 Fahrenheit and had thunder. We haven't had thunder in a little bit. We might see, if you get a squall that goes through, you might get a little thunder snow, you know. But that's pretty rare. Buddy does not like the thunder. He's not a thunder kitty. He usually finds a place to hide. He's like, nope, don't like it. Oh, so I thought the videos came out pretty good. Those were all... I shot every single one of those videos on my phone. I didn't feel like packing a cam, and I already sent that Osmo action shit back. I already got my refund, so that worked out. And I got those mics, and it turns out I was going to return the mics because I thought they only worked with the Osmo, but they actually worked with my phone. They're just Bluetooth. But when I did a pair, I was using the... they have their own proprietary, like, Wi-Fi. Works great. And I had, like, noise reduction going on them. I thought they... And that was not the strongest noise reduction. I think I had it set to, like there's the noise reduction on and then noise reduction high. I think I had it set to regular. I think it pumps the voice a little too much when it's... Right, the gate, it's almost like a little too much when you have it on the high, but I'd have to test it at NAMM. And you can only change it through the friggin' app. And of course, the app is on, like, my friggin' old iPad. A big pain in the ass. No, I didn't get my tax refund already. I got my Osmo Action 5 return refund already. But I got the new Samsung S25 coming, so which sucks is that they put their cameras out like the week after friggin' NAMM. So there's going to be like 360 days between when I get the camera and I can use it at the friggin' NAMM show. But it should be a much better camera, like in every way. It's a 2-year improvement over the last one, and a lot more powerful processing. So it should be just better in every way. They were DJI. Although you couldn't tell because I cover up their logo with tape. No free advertising. Sorry, bro. That space is for rent. Same with I have an Action 360 grip. I just covered that shit right up with tape. It's like, I'm not advertising your friggin' brand. Any issues with the S25 screen that I've heard? No, I have not heard that. That S24 was such a bust. But I haven't heard any problems with the S25. I think they learned their lesson from last year. I think they got a shit ton of returns. So I suspect it will be it'll be fine. Yeah, their cams on there are really outstanding. Yeah, I know, right, Lewis? The S Pen support took a huge hit. I am one of those few people that did use it to trigger. I guess I can use my watch. I have a Samsung watch, but it's, you still need two hands. Unless I take the watch off and I hold it in one hand and you try and use it it's like a pain in the ass. It's like the pen worked great to trigger the camera, and then you could use the good camera. You could have the camera out looking towards you and then just trigger it, and it would be a much better photo than the one that comes from behind the screen, right? The front facing versus the rear facing. That'd be, it did. I thought it took a huge hit. It's like, why get rid of that? They said it's for battery life, and that only like 1% of people used it. And it's like, well, I was in the 1%. Kind of missing that. So we'll see. It should be here. They already shipped it. They said it was going to be delivered tomorrow, but now they're like, no, wait, tomorrow's Sunday. It's actually going to be there on Monday. So I should have the new phone on Monday. Should be good. And I didn't have to trade in my old phone to get the killer price. So I should be able to sell the phone and pretty much cover the cost of the upgrade about 80-90%. Though they say don't pay it off if it's interest free. You're better to to pay off things that have an interest rate. Any updates with the R36 handheld? I think they had an update that dropped today. At least ArcOS did. ArcOS had an update that came out today, as a matter of fact. But you got to get you got to get it on a Wi-Fi connection. And that's a little tricky with that because of it doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi. You have to use an old Wi-Fi like 4 connector, right? It's got to be like an old Etimax or TP-Link from like literally years ago to make it work correctly. Kind of odd. All the new ones are coming with Wi-Fi built in, but that one doesn't have it. You have to use, I think I use an Etimax. Shrinkflation, yeah, I tell you, not shrinkflation, but just inflation. God, the last time we went to get eggs, they were way up. I think, like, even from just a few weeks ago. So I think it's the bird flu, they said, driving up the prices. But it was, instead of like $4 a dozen, they wanted like $6.50, almost $7. So we held off and wound up going to Costco, because Costco you can still get it. They're not bad. I think it's $6, but you get 2 dozen. Thoughts on Marshall owned Hong Kong Gibson on the Main. So, it's the consolidation of the market. As they have more competition, like from digital. That's what's killing them. And I never really, I don't think I've ever owned a Marshall amp. Not one. I think I own mostly Fender, Peavey, and, the Panama stuff, but that was weird. That was all just for demo stuff. And the One Rev, which is a great little amp. Costco was sold out. Yeah, that's the only thing with Costco. People realize that it's like the place to go to get things for, still pretty good prices. Like toilet paper and stuff like that. You can go there and like get it real good. They run out. They friggin' run out. I remember we went there and they were like out of like half and half. I was losing my mind. Like, how can you run out of half and half? How does this happen? Losing my shit. They'll have what? But they're out. They friggin' ran out. Oh, yeah, and the Hughes and Kettner. God, the Hughes and Kettner, too. Right there. Hughes and Kettner and the Rev. I like that Hughes and Kettner a lot. I do like that. That's the tube one. Yeah, the Panama. Remember those? I haven't played a Shabbat guitar. Yeah, they are. They're pretty expensive. I put them in the same, like, McMull, right? Very expensive brand, boutique brand, sort of like, who's that other company? God, I can't think of the name of them now. There's a few European companies like that. Oh, God, I can't, now it's bothering me. I can't think of it. But they do a bunch of different styles, including like semi-hollows and stuff. It's pretty good. You still have a Panama Twin 12 cabinet? Yeah. I still have a few of the cabs. They all split, though. I thought for sure... Um, I thought for sure that mine hadn't split, but I did check them, and they did. It's just so dry here. Like I said, the dew point here is 4. I don't think it ever gets that dry in Panama. You know. Did you get to play the sparkly solo? You know what? I didn't really play a ton of guitars when I was there. I don't want to, God forbid I ever had an accident and drop something, It's like these poor guys, they're there to, show off guitars. It's, I don't know if you heard, but Sully had a guitar stolen. I think last week I thought there was a slight chance that it was just sort of a shipping logistics problem, and just like that there was at least some small chance that it was going to be found as when they started to like clear things out and say, oh, wait a second, we have this extra stuff here. Who does this belong to? And figuring it out. But that didn't materialize. I think so. It really was stolen. And he had put a lot of time, that was hours and hours and hours of work to make that guitar. And it had a very intricate multicolored paint job, kind of like that Glamouflage one he had, but, a whole different sort of color scheme, but, like a lot of different colors, which just takes, again, just a shit ton of time to mask that off, spray it up, sand it down, coat it. It's just a lot of work. So I felt really bad. He had that guitar stolen. Think they're color green. You have a white one, yeah. Is your white one pearl, or is it a? In other words, does it have a little bit of metallic like this, or is it more like the standard sort of like a Fiesta red, without any metallic in it? Yeah, it was a Concord, right? Yeah, that was the guitar that was missing, a Concord. Yeah, kind of like an Art Deco design. Yeah, right. It looked like a lot of work. When he was showing it to me, I felt so bad for him because I could just see all that intricate paintwork, and I'm like, oh my God, how many hours did this poor guy put into this guitar only to have it just stolen? That's why he's got to get, the money he gets for those guitars. They're up in the multi-thousands of dollars because, it takes a long time. He's just, himself and maybe one other worker. And so, it's a lot of time. It is just a shit ton of time. Yeah, no, Sully's good. Sully had a great video last year with me. When he had the handheld. This year I had the hands-free, which I thought worked out. The worst was the douchebag kid at the freaking Ibanez booth who's going to sit there and show the world, like, all the scales he knows. It's like, dude, you're at the NAMM show. Nobody, that might work in the Guitar Center, but nobody gives a shit at NAMM. Nobody. You're nothing. Like, literally, I saw Nuno walking around. Nuno Betancourt. You think you're impressing anybody here? You're not. It's like, I saw Doug Rappaport. Andy Timmons. Freaking, guys, there's so many just top players. It's like, that dude was just annoying as shit, because it's like you're not impressing anybody and you're just causing all this extraneous noise in a cramped and crowded situation. It's like, beat it, punk. Get off my lawn. Exactly. Now go get your shine box. Exactly. Yeah, the wheedly guy in the background. God, I wanted to crack him over the head with that. He's going to impale him with that 565. Like, beat it, punk. Yeah, there's a lot of great players there, but you know, they're not sitting. And again, I can't even impart to you just how crowded it was in that little section. Like a very tight area. It looked much bigger because it was a super wide-angle lens, which I'm glad I was using because I needed that. There was no way we were going to do it with a standard lens. Would have been way too cramped on that video. Not even close. So. Yeah, now you got to rewatch it. It's you know, look, there's a time and a place for that kind of stuff, and like in the row at a friggin' NAMM show, at a trade show, where people, you know, it's not the time to sit down and start ripping through your friggin' practice regimen. Yeah, I still got the TMD 1000, still working. Still working after all these years. Got that in Christmas 99, Christmas 2000, I think. I have some footage of Doug Aldrich playing. He was at some booth I was walking by. I said, oh, look, it's Doug. Got a little picture. I got a little bit of footage of Doug ripping it up. And I didn't get to see Andy Timmons play or Josh Smith. I saw Doug Rappaport because I was at the Bad Cat booth. I'm just about to play, and he walks in. I'm like, oh, shit. Great. Oh, great. No, yeah, well, let's call Timmons over. And where's Nuno? Yeah, let's get them all over here. Like, oh, no. No pressure. No pressure. But, yeah, I was going through one of the Bad Cats. It wasn't the new one for this year. He had me going through that for a little bit, but I told him, I'm like, dude, I need something with more gain. He's like, I got just the amp. We went out to this other one. He goes, this is from last year. I plug in. I go, oh, no, now you're talking, dude. This thing's kick ass. That was much, I like that so much better. Because you miss the compression. That's the main thing you get from the heavier gain. You get a lot more compression. You just so miss it. Yeah, exactly. If you're at NAMM, we're there to see the equipment, not some dude ripping through scales. It's like there's nothing exciting about that. You know, the gear is way more exciting. B&H camera, look at the zoom 8K. Yeah, but I can't shoot in 8K. That's way too much. That's way too high a res. And you know, I had a zoom camera here. I didn't think the quality was that good. You know, I do better with Lumix. You know, and then for walking around, I go with the phone. It's hard to beat the freaking phone, especially now that it has the remote microphones. You know. Oh yeah, you saw Styx live in '78, huh? Oh no, okay. The last night. Oh, it showed up in your YouTube feed. Yeah, never saw any Styx live. Yeah, you know, there's one of those bands that didn't really have, right. They locked up. Van Halen very much did that. Van Halen never wanted to do live albums or live stuff. He felt like you're giving away. People won't go to your shows. He's like, you got to make that a mystery, man. You got to make it so that people want to show up and go to your shows. And if you put out live albums and stuff, you know, all the mystery goes away. To some degree, he might have been right, but they were very reluctant to put out a live album. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tommy Shaw, amazing guitar players. Especially their cover of When I See Beth Smile. When I see Beth Smile. Right? They had the acoustic. It was pretty good. Goes to show you the musicians that they are. God. Yeah, Insta360, their latest one didn't get great reviews. Quite frankly, in terms of just sheer sharpness, the GoPro seemed the best. But you know what? I'm over just trying to use a different device. I'm just gonna use my phone. The phone is the best. Why am I even messing around? Samsung can compete with any of these sucker MCs. You know, and you know what? I'm walking around a trade show. I'm not strapping it to a friggin' skateboard or a mountain bike or a surfboard. All right, I don't need that kind of protection. I'm walking around a trade show, so I can just stick with the phone. Yeah, Bob Seger live. It's so funny. He went on tour. I forget if it was in the 90s or the early 2000s. It was his first tour in like forever. And they're like, why are you going on tour? And he said, because my kids don't believe I am famous. They're like, yeah, well, maybe you were famous once, but you're a nobody now. And he's like, oh, I'm going to kill you. He had to prove to his kids, I'm Bob freaking Seger, goddammit. Yes, this is 60 cycle hums wheelchair rig. So it's funny to see the what I would call the evolution of the YouTuber. So what happens is you first go to NAMM. It's a little overwhelming, but then you come up with a strategy, right? I'm going to go to the NAMM show, and I'm going to put together, like, you start to like think about your dream rig, and you know how you're going to do, you know what you're going to do to go there and shoot, and you put together like quite a bit of equipment, right, to take around and to try and turn this into, like, you know, because you're thinking about it, and you're like, I'm gonna do this year, and I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna have this big recording rig, and I'm gonna have like my own like amp and my own like everything I need to be able to do my recording. And in like 2018, 2019, that was Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum. He would show up with this big walk around rig and stuff, and like go and shoot like extensive videos and all that stuff. Like everyone, Like, I was probably doing that a couple of years early. That shit wears off. Suddenly your standards get lower, and you're like, you know what? That was a lot of friggin' work to drag that friggin' goddamn rig around. You know, right now, the guitar geek is at that point where when you see him, he's got this massive rig. He's wheeling around this big cart with a camera and this whole like recording rig and all stuff. For now, eventually, give it a year or two, he's gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is a lot of work." And I predict, so that's why Ryan didn't really have he doesn't really have that rig anymore. You don't really see it right now. He's walking around with the wheelchair and just having fun, right? You sort of give in. You're like, oh my God, it's just so much friggin' work. I would say Guitar Geek is still there. He's fully entrenched with the full-on recording rig and everything. I'd say Ryan has sort of moved away from that. You don't really see him with that any longer. And on to like more random shit. And I'm down on my friggin' phone. down on the phone. That's what you're getting out of me now. I don't even want to pack a second camera. I know, right? I don't have my own Cheddar Kung Pao. Whatever happened to Cheddar Kung Pao? I miss that guy. I haven't seen him in a long time. He had a couple of really nice PRS guitars. Very nice, if I remember correctly. Have a good one, Tommy. Yeah, as long as it's truck commercials. God, he made a mint off of selling that, right? Is it Chevy? Like a Rock? Geeks will be geeks. Am I gonna get an advanced copy of THU V2? Not yet. You know, we could check out a little bit of, before I forget, we could check a little bit of the Ostro out. You know what? I'm actually just going to try and move it over here because I hope they fix their window logic, because their Windows logic is shit. Just absolute shit. All right. Where's that Ostro? There he is. Okay. Yeah, he does a lot with like the reverse, you know. So that's like a the shaper, and it's got this modular verb and a reverse delay. This is like some sort of compressor. Yeah. Without a doubt, a compressor. All right, hold on. I want to board you with the. Let's get like a dimension. I actually like this one, but I had to mess with this one a little bit. Probably won't be able to see it unless I collapse that. Yeah, not bad. Let me get to Again, it sort of looks the same, but it's not. For being so fuzzy down in the lower registers, it's actually pretty crisp up high. Not bad. I actually kind of like this amp. You know, not bad. So this is, let me clear this out. This is keys to the Shedderini. My spidey sense goes off when I see all those parametric EQs though. That tells me someone had a hard time shaping this sound. 3 parametric EQs. Yeah, not bad. All right, hold on. We'll get a few of these. Yeah, this is that, it's got a compressor, the amp, the cab, a bunch of parametric EQs, the keys to the Shredderini, and of course this harmonizer. Those tell me A minor. All right. Okay. Well, I gotta reset that. Okay, much better. Yeah, so like this one, let me get this out of here so you can see like this one, they had this distortion plus on. I did not like it. With the distortion plus on. Liked it much better with the distortion plus off. I mean, not bad, but you put that on, overly compressed. almost a little too fuzzy. Doesn't sound natural. Much better. All right, hold on. Hold the phone. Yeah. Again, some of these, like this is the duck emulator. I'm like, yeah, what? Like it's like a ring modulator. That doesn't sound good. Sounds infinitely better turning this stupid thing off. It's just not that good. It's like a ring modulator or something. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be. That's a hard pass. See, it's not all Sunbeam and you know. Again, that kind of sucks. It's got a lot like that. And again, internal squealing. You gotta, where is it? He's got something cranked up way too high. Again, a little too much. That already sounds better, just to turn that effect off. Let me turn the phaser off. Oh, it's different IRs. Yeah, see, no. They're not all winners. That's a hard pass too. So I would say that they're better. That's not bad. I might bring that gain up. Get a little more compression. Better. That is a dimension pedal with the Ostro head and cab and that modular verb and a reverse. Boy, he's all into these reverse delays. I mean, I guess. That's not bad. Again, I think a lot of his patches are just almost like a little too affected. People say I use effects, but damn, that's a lot. That is a lot. And then the other one here is the This new Mod 3. Oop. Which I think sounds really good. So I'll turn, this is the effect. So you lose the stereo. Right, you turn this on. A little better. A little bit. All right. I don't know if this is That's actually not bad. Just a simple M22 amp. Yeah, with a couple of mods at the end, and oh yeah, and a plate reverb. A lot more bass, huh? Bring that drive all the way up. Yeah, not bad. Could probably use a delay. No, wouldn't kill you to put a delay on there. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not a ton of they're mostly clean sounds. And then there's an all right. Again, it's just too affected. Compare that to my normal. Shit, a guy was getting trolled on YouTube, so he gave up. Oh, that sucks. I would tell him to just disregard those shits. But I know it brings you down. That's my standard. Now, sometimes, if I want something a little more mid-push, I'll go with this. Way more mid-push. This other one is way more scoop. You know, depends. And of course, the behave lead. was at NAMM recently. Did I stroll by the Tom Anderson booth? You know, I don't remember seeing it. I don't remember the Tom Anderson booth. I don't know where they were. Were they? I'm going to assume that they were upstairs in Hall D, but I don't remember seeing them. It's like I wonder if he was in the boutique room, like where Sully was. Sully was in the boutique room. Mayonis, who used to always have their own booth, they were in the boutique room, you know, to keep costs down. So, I don't remember them. I don't remember seeing the Tom Anderson booth. I know Tom Anderson, the guitars. I'd absolutely stop and check them out. The Tom Anderson guitars always look good, but they're not inexpensive. You know, it is a boutique guitar. With the patches you played at the THE booth, including the upcoming upgrade. No, I think when I was at the booth, we were playing mainly through that Max Ostro, the patches I was just playing. So no, a lot of those. You know what though? I am 99% sure, because I don't think they took any amps away, that if you use my patch bank, all the patches should work with the new version. But just remember, it's not a patch. It's a patch bank. If it's OVP, it's looking for a patch. It's not. It's OVB, overloud bank. So you have to import it into the bank section. That's a very common mistake. Hey, I tried to load this. It says I need an OVP file. You have an OVB file. I'm like, yeah, because you're right-clicking down in the patches. Why don't you right-click up in the bank? They're like, oh, sorry, right, my bad. Nope, you're right. Bank, right, not, okay, never mind. But they should all work. And I really tried hard to use all stock amps for that so that you wouldn't have to spend any extra money to get it working. Right? Because some people, when I did one like the year or two before that, they're like, yeah, 2 or 3 of these patches say I don't have the equipment. I'm like, oh yeah, because I was probably using something from like an extra, patch bank or some shit, one of their plugins. So I tried real hard to delete all of those or replace them, because a lot of them were some decent patches, to go through and find the included amp that sounded the closest to what I was using. It was only for like a half dozen patches, but they should all be clean. Should be clean now. There's something wrong with my EVH. You remind me, I have to flip it on. Yeah, I just hope people realize you don't have to solder it. You just have to loosen it, twist it around, and then tighten it back down again, right? People are like, I don't want to solder it. Like, don't solder it. There should be plenty of slack in there to be able to just turn it. Just turn it the correct way and tighten it back down. You're good to go. You do not need to resolder it. Da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. Oh, is it 8:51 already? Man. I do like this guitar. I got a new guitar coming out on Monday, though. Haven't shot the video yet. I got to shoot it tomorrow. I had to clean up here today. I had to get the SG boxed up, which I did. That had multiple boxes. That needed a lot of boxing. And same with the Yamaha. I had got those both boxed up. Those are ready to go back. And then I got I'll box this one up probably tomorrow just to get it out of the way. And then I got the new one ready to shoot for Monday. And I think my wife is going up to see her dad tomorrow. So I should have some quiet time. I should be able to rip that video right out. Get it done. You know? Yeah, you know, we were talking about that earlier. I don't think it'll go up 25% for the specific items that are coming in. Like, so I don't think Fender Mexico will go up 25%. But what they'll do is they'll make an across-the-board increase to cover that cost. So all the guitars will go up. Also, you got to remember, guitars aren't priced in a vacuum. Guitars are priced based on the competition. So if the competition goes up by 25%, there's every incentive to raise the local price by 25% because they're like, that's what they're getting for them now, right? There's no incentive to say, oh, wow, now we're going to sell a lot more like guitars made in Corona versus made in, Mexico because, right, they're too close. Fender would never allow that to happen. They want to cannibalize those sales. No. That will all get raised up. And things will remain quite the same. Just with an across-the-board increase. I wouldn't doubt if they just did a 10 to 15% across the board if they have to cover 25% for one of their lines. Right? The one thing I cannot impart to you enough is it's the importer that pays the tariff, not the exporter. So, having paid many a tariff myself, those Harley Bentons, I had to pay a duty on those. And one of the Chinese guitars, when I was getting the Chinese ones, and I remember, and they were holding it at I had to come up with, I think it was $70 or $35. And for the guitar, which I think was what probably they had said it was worth $350 or whatever. It was like a 10% tariff. And they said, and I was like, why are you charging me a tariff on this when you didn't charge me on the other one? So like, you imported too many. It was too frequent. You wouldn't have paid the tariff if you had stretched out your purchases but you got so many in such a short period of time. We're starting to treat you like a dealer. I was like, oh well, duly noted. I won't do that. But then later on, when I was getting the stuff from Germany, I was paying that no matter what. It didn't matter how many things you imported, and that got collected by UPS. So I had to pay a collection fee because UPS was like, oh, there's a duty, and we have to we already paid it. Now you have to pay us, and then there's a fee because we don't pay stuff out for nothing. So it wound up costing me a little bit more. I want to say it was $70 or $80 for the last round of Harley Benton's. Kind of sucked. I know, we do. We do get a lot of maple from Canada. Jesus, that's true. A lot of Canadian maple is used in the industry. So it'll just drive up the costs of, fenders that use maple necks. How many fenders use maple necks? I mean, how many could there be? You sent a Donner to Australia. Hope the guy doesn't get clobbered. It all depends. I know that sometimes people, they tell me they get stuff in Australia. There is an import duty. It's just, you never know. It's weird. Like I said, they didn't get me on any of the Chinese ones. And then all of a sudden they were they left a note saying, you have to come down and get this at the place. You owe an import duty. I remember going down there and I was like, what? They're like, yeah, no, you got to pay. That was the first one. And then the Harley Bentons, I want to say the first round was nothing, but then after that, they were all getting me with an import duty. Yeah, it was weird. The crazy one that I didn't get the import duty on was the one from Switzerland. The guy sent me that guitar, and but I had to make all these declarations about the wood, and then how that was natural wood and not some sort of a composite. It was really, God, they made me jump through hoops on that. I fill out all these declarations. And then, but they didn't charge me an import tax on that. That was the weirdest. That was so weird. I guess not on Switzerland. But, like I said, companies, Fenders are not going to tolerate a 30% increase on one of their lines. They're going to do a 10 or 15% increase across the board. All the guitars will go up, and it will be borne out across the line. You know where you got an insight into that? When Josh from JHS Pedals, right? He was talking about how this pedal sometimes subsidizes this pedal because we can't raise the price. The market won't bear a higher price for this, but it will bear a higher price for this more boutique one. And so sometimes the more expensive ones sort of subsidize some of these lesser ones. That's how the industry works, right? So I wouldn't doubt if Fender just responds with an across the board. And as a matter of fact, I just yesterday went through and took a few screenshots just to remind ourselves what things we're going for, right now, and see if in 60 to 90 days, if there is a price increase. There may not be. You never know. We'll see. So, anyway. All right, dudes, it's 8:59. We're going to wrap it up. Super thanks for everybody for hanging out. Super extra special thanks to anyone who contributed. That is always appreciated. And, of course, welcome to my new members. And it's always great to have new members on board. And there you have it. And, of course, Brofish to my mod squad. #Brofish, #mod squad. And we will do it all again in a week. Cool guitar coming out. Had the brand here at least 2 other times for Guitar of the Week, but never had this guitar. This is a bit of an oddball for a guitar. I mean, certainly one of the most out there guitars I think I'm going to have featured here for Guitar of the Week. You know, not like this. This is your standard double humbucker with the Floyd Rose. But this one on Monday is going to be a little different. No, a little bit. No, a little bit. So, and hashtag Ben Coombs is still alive. Ben Coombs is alive. Alive. All right, you guys have a great week. We'll do it all again in a week. I don't know if I have any more NAMM videos coming out. I have some walking around ones, but I'm going to check the footage on that. It's been a little discouraging. I think I'm walking around too fast. I don't, you know, and it's just too, it's hard to watch. So let me see if I have some footage I can just cut out where I'm not so freaking caffeinated and walking around like crazy. All right, dudes. I'll see you in a week. Have a great week. And we'll do it all again in a week. That's kind of how a weekly thing works. All right. No, you rock. And next week we'll do our Super Bowl predictions. I'm thinking probably Philly, but maybe KC. How's that for a hot take? All right. You guys have in rip Sassy Cat. Oh, I can't believe I'm even saying that. That's such a bummer to hear. Yeah, keep Sassy Cat in your thoughts. And there you go. All right. Have a great week. I'll see you all again next week.